7 Sport presents The Big Replay. Sponsored for your enjoyment by NEC, your Mitsubishi Motors dealer, and Hallett Brick.
Good evening and welcome to the Big Replay on 7. Did your side win today? They did? Good on you. Well, when the rain finally cleared today, we saw excellent conditions for football. 5 games played in Adelaide today to complete round 7 of the 1984 season. Our cameras today followed 2 teams that were previously unbeaten before today's games, that of Port Adelaide and Central Districts. Of course, Port Adelaide took on Glenelg at Football Park, and we saw the clash of West Adelaide and Central Districts down at Richmond Oval today. A crowd of 33,680 people saw those 5 games, and I think they all saw some excellent action at all of those 5 ovals. At Football Park today, Ian Day and Peter Marker saw the clash down there between Glenelg and Port Adelaide. Ian, Port obviously must be worthy of their league leadership at the moment.
Rick, you can say that again. 7 wins without a loss, and they proved conclusively today that they are worthy league leaders. Led by a winning ruck and also a magnificent centre line, Port Adelaide ran out rugged winners by about 20 points. However, one thing is a little disconcerting as far as Port is concerned. For the second successive week, they've stood the opposition up by 4 or 5 goals. The night game against Norwood, they did it, and again today they were trailing halfway through the first quarter by 24 points. Maybe the opposition are keyed up against the top side, but I would think that Port Adelaide would be happier if they led from woe to go. Paul Belton's return to roving has lifted that division, and of course Russell Johnson is coming into his own at the right time. The Bays were far from disgrace. It's the first time I've seen them in the flesh this year, and they played pretty well, and I would think that Graham Campbell wouldn't be too downhearted by their loss. But if they had have used the ball better than they did, the game would have been a lot closer than the 20 points. They could have even won. But Port's tackling is fierce and it's quick. And I think if you'll watch the highlights later on, you're going to see some fine highlights. It was a magnificent scene down there, 16,500 people in a great turf.
Thanks, Ian. At Richmond Oval today, it was a big day for Central's Peter Bytheen, celebrating his 200th league game. They came up against the reigning premiers from last year in West Adelaide. And Robert, I think Westie showed some form of old today.
They certainly did, Rick. I thought it was in the area of their ball getting and their disposal that was excellent. Particularly in the first quarter, they set themselves off to a very good start to the game. Coupled with that with some excellent tackling, they proved themselves to be a very, very good side again in 1984. However, I thought that Mark Dreer at centre-half back, he's one person who's showing excellent form, and coupled with Greg Summerton in the back pocket, who played so well, along with John Cantalaftis. And then in the centre of the ground, Robin McKinnon. Sheer strength alone is exciting. He's a very powerful player, and they got the ball forward with some great help from Des Herbert, who's a greatly improved player from the one I saw earlier in the season, and Leon Grosser. Oh, what a player. 2 years ago, one thought that perhaps he would never be destined to league football after a very promising junior career. But today we saw Leon play some wonderful play. And of course, on the end of it all was Roger Luders, and today he was able to take advantage and capture a little bit of that form, which made him a great goal-getter last season.
Clayton Lamb to the half-forward line. There's the new centre-half forward for West Adelaide today, Paul Patterson. He was instrumental in that last goal too. Morris. Handball on. Oh, lovely flick. And that's great football. Waits to draw the player, and Grosser. Oh, Jamie Thomas. Handball was to his feet, so now Central's got to work hard. The umpire says holding the ball. White didn't dispose of it effectively, and Luders in front. And Roger Luders already looking better.
They can skid on the ground today. You can notice that the ground gets a bit softer and players are prepared to dive at the ball.
Roger Luders, 1 goal, 1 already. Lines them up, looks good. And it is.
Herbert read it well again to Filk. He's got Mike Smith loose in the centre. Smith's got absolute panic. He'll go over the top to Roger Luders, and he can virtually walk into the goal square and put his 3rd goal on the board. He has.
He's a dynamic player, isn't he? And we'll have more highlights of that game a little later tonight in the big replay. Just checking the scores from the other games today. Down at Prospect Oval, we saw South Adelaide 18 goals 13, 121 points, defeating North Adelaide 12 goals 8, 80. At the Parade, Norwood 26 goals 13, defeated Torrens 17 goals 9. And unfortunately for Norwood, Warhurst apparently went off in the last quarter with an ankle injury. That could be bad news for the state game on Tuesday night. And down at Unley, Sturt 24 goals 19, 163 points, defeated Woodville 18 goals 16. And for Sturt there, Rick Davies bagged 11 goals. Well, the game at Football Park today between Glenelg and Port Adelaide certainly had plenty of action all through the 4 quarters. Unfortunately, we can't show you all of the game on the big replay, but to set the scene, let's take a look at some of the great highlights from the first half.
Reading it well, though, with Anthony Williams. The handball is out. Martin Leslie, a quick kick away. Here's a chance. McGuinness, beautifully read. The kick on the way to full forward it goes. Nichols couldn't mark it up the ground. Oh, great kick for goal. Gee, that was well done by the big fellow.
Bumped away by Johnson. Gavin Walsh kicks it high back towards the centre field position. Coming to meet it, Leslie. He's heft off it. Seabohm, well done. Oh, here's a chance now. 12-3. He's well clear. He can run 20 metres. One bounce, straightens up, gives it a chance. I think he's got it through. Goal, brilliantly done. What rebound.
Johnson couldn't get the kick away. Finally, it comes out to Wayne Stringer. McGuinness is behind. Eventually, he has to punch away. Here's a chance. Leon 12-3. The opportunist does not miss. 2 goals, 12-3. Even in front. Couldn't take the mark. A high tackle, according to the umpire, and it's against John McFarlane. Russell Ebert wasn't too wrapped about it. Knight's up. Now, it appears to be a leg injury. Or Gibbs, you'll have to go for that one. Didn't. Down it goes to Marnie. Rubbers one along the ground. It's going right through. Boy, oh boy. That's what you call a lucky bounce. What a great kick away that is Bradley. Watch him go. The quickest player, one of the quickest I've ever seen. The kick on the way, Evans. It just missed him. Farquhar's right with the Port Adelaide champion. McFarlane in there as well. A high tackle. I tell you what, Ian, these umpires are confusing not only the crowd, not only me, and I'm sure you, but certainly also the players.
It's not easy out there at the moment, that's for certain, Peter. Evans got a free kick, and he's in the right forward pocket at a very difficult angle. Only about 35 metres out. Port Adelaide, well, the breeze is coming in just slightly from right to left. It's coming back nicely. That is a brilliant kick, Tim Evans. It's his first goal. Port Adelaide needed it.
Umpire Kernahan holds the ball high to signal the beginning of the second quarter here at Football Park. The Tigers are leading by a goal, but Port Adelaide played very well late in that first quarter. Bradley to Stephen Williams. The kick to half forward, in front Belton. Belton plays it on immediately. Craig Ebert kicks it into the full forward area. Farquhar in front. Oh, bad luck for Farquhar. Through it went to Tim Evans. He kicked off the ground for his 3rd goal.
Now Duthie is clear. No, he's not. Smothered off the boot. Stephen Williams in towards the half-forward line. Russell Ebert, good mark. Plays on. Drives towards the open goal. The umpire said he's got it. Mistake by the Bay defence. Gets a lead from Marnie and also Russell Johnson, the grandstand side. Holst back. Almost a free kick. Carey puts it out in front of Simons. Right forward pocket. He goes for home with a long shot. That could be a magnificent goal. Oh, what an unbelievable kick, Tony Simons. Kernahan and Johnson. Line ball, that tap as well. Thumped by Ebert towards the half-forward line. Well picked up there now by Ebert. Gets it across to Anderson. Anderson, a long one in towards full forward. This could be another goal. Oh, what a brilliant effort. First Tony Simons. Now Anderson. What a magnificent tussle these 2 young players are having at centre wing. Or 2 Bay players muck it up. Ebert got it over to Giles. Giles now in turn Bradley. Bradley's backed up superbly by Belton. In towards Evans, going to get a leap away up high. Thumped by Farquhar. Stephen Williams hooks back. The umpire saying it's going close. Goal! Brilliantly done, Stephen Williams. His 2nd.
Was there. Fraser gets his first kick. Out comes Carey. Big leap from behind. The big chap can't mark the ball. Alan Stringer, left boot, goal. First goal, Alan Stringer. Glenelg really needed that one.
At the centre line, it's Owens. He's followed with the football. Ebert gets it out. Oh, that's another good handball. Oh, there. Giles almost left it behind. Bradley clear, 40 metres out, puts it in the air with a chance, going to be close home. Oh, what a player.
And so the Magpies, looking for their 7th straight win in 84 league football, were leading by 3 goals at half-time. The scores: Port Adelaide 11 goals 8 to Glenelg 8 goals 8. After this short break, we'll pick up the action at the start of the 3rd quarter.
Port Adelaide by 18 points as we pick up the second half here at Football Park. Once again, the conditions still beautiful, no rain, perfect afternoon for footy, and a great spectacle we're watching. Duthie can't get out a handball. Johnson tries the same trick, but he can't get it out either, and the umpire will come back and bounce. The Bays led 5-2 to 4-2 at quarter time after a big fight back, having been down 4 goals at one stage, and are forged ahead. Now Port Adelaide 11-8 to 8-8 as the ball goes out towards centre wing, trying to get the kick away with Stringer. The tackle was probably held on a little too long by Anthony Williams, and Alan Stringer, who had a very quiet first quarter but got into the action a bit in the second, will get the free kick almost up at centre wing as he puts a high kick across the half-forward line. Fraser won't get there in time, and Craig Ebert, who had a fine first half, gets back to take the easy mark, but a shocking kick. Kernahan, Martin Leslie had to handball out in front of himself to use his pace to go back and get it. Lost his footing and the ball, and it's out of bounds half-forward left flank.
Port Adelaide 11-8. The Tigers 8-8. 3 goals in it. The Bays are kicking with the aid of a breeze. Not a strong. Might be worth a couple though. Kernahan has his head nearly pulled off. And what a fine season he's having for the Magpies. A big kick winner. This is his 11th kick. He had Stephen Williams on the boundary line, but he wants Ben Harris in front. Great mark. John Seabohm would be very close to state selection. John Seabohm's had a fine season. Not a good kick away. It wobbles off the boot. Stringer, Russell Johnston, too tall, and the big ruckman takes the mark. Actually, it was against Maynard. He swings it out wide to Dexter Kennedy. Back it goes to Martin Leslie. And he wants Ben Harris again, but intercepting is Craig Bradley. No need to tell you that Craig Bradley is a star. I think everybody knows that. Stephen Williams wobbles one forward. Wayne Marnie, Port Adelaide, doing it a bit easy at the moment. Back goes Evans. He's got that one. Controlled the ball in the air, and Port Adelaide seemed to attack far too easily along grandstand flank then. Not enough pressure applied on the player with the ball. Tim Evans has 3. Should not miss from here. He doesn't. Port Adelaide kick away now, 12-8. The Tigers 8-8.
An awkward kick as it came in. Evans and Fark were looking for it, but Evans, like he did in the first quarter, read the flight of the ball a lot better than Farquhar did. There was a lot of controversy in that first quarter as to whether he actually marked the ball or not. The mark was paid to him, and he kicked the goal, but on that occasion, most certainly he took the clear mark, did it well for his 4th, and Port Adelaide edge clear now, 24 points, and that's the biggest margin of the game. It equals the margin that the Bays got out clear in the first quarter. 12-8 to 8-8.
Well, can the Tigers fight back? That's the question. Peter Carey in ruck. Russell Johnston, Carey easily, looking for Duthie. Kinnear was clean bowled. Alan Stringer can't pick it up. The tackle's on, and he gets the free kick. He gets it all right. Back very quickly. Johnny McFarlane makes the break, but Alan Stringer will go long. Kernahan, not in a good position to mark, but got up very high. Maynard, good handball. Duthie, McGuinness. Wobbles one forward. It's going to bounce through. Well, that was a good goal, McGuinness. That's his first. Glenelg 9-8, Port Adelaide 12-8, and I understand McGuinness has got a pretty sore right hand.
Yes, Peter, it's heavily. Is it bandaged there? I'm just. Yes, it's bandaged. It's flesh-coloured tape, and it's hard to see momentarily. But the handball out was good. At first, when it went out, I thought it was going to put him under a lot of pressure. But there's no quicker player in the league than McGuinness, and especially getting the boot onto the ball. And although it wasn't an attractive kick, it was effective, and that's the main thing. It was his first, the Bays' 9th.
The Tigers have the job in front of them. Russell Johnston, Peter Carey, McGuinness. Onto the right boot. Martin Fraser, Brenton Owens, couple of speedsters there. Fraser made the effort. Tony Simons did it well, out of trouble. Back to Marshall. Marshall's got a strong left boot. Nichols outreached easily by Dexter Kennedy. Reading it well, though, is Maynard. Oh, kicked it straight to his opponent in Tony Giles. Stephen Knight made ground, then dropped the easy mark. Maynard again, not kicking well, and back it goes again to Tony Giles. Gee, you must like him here.
Maynard looking just a little sluggish, Peter. He's come back after that long absence through injury with the foot, and he's not looking the sprightly Maynard we remember of last season, but still it's early days yet. Harris a fine mark, slips it to Bradley. You watch him bolt off, although Marshall cut off his retreat and kicks long to the half-forward line. Out there is Ebert, with him Gavin Walsh. It's a one-on-one battle. Ebert conceding ground, Walsh and Ebert still. In comes Simons. Simons and Anderson, a fantastic duel in the first half. It's on again, Anderson against Simons, but in the interim, a free kick will go to the Bays to be taken on the outer side by Gavin Walsh. He's at centre wing to put it in the air, looking for Kernahan. Hasn't had a big match to date, although he's got 3 goals. Is it 3 goals? He's kicked well for goal. Russell Johnson. A wobbly kick to the half-forward line. Seabohm against Harris. Harris dropped the football. Seabohm over the top. Harris with strength gets it back out now towards Marnie. Marnie kicks to the boundary line. Stephen Knight went down heavily in the first quarter. Spent a time not only on the bench, but they actually took him into the club room to see that he wasn't concussed. And he's back in the action now, but has only had, I would think, 1 or 2 kicks. 2.
Peter Carey used the left hand. Oh, Tony Hall went through an unusual manoeuvre there. I'm not sure what that was all about. Quite extraordinary. Looked like he saw a ghost or was watching a horror movie or something. He went into a strange movement. Russell Johnston. Bradley tried to kick away off the ground. Stephen Williams handballs with the intention of it coming back and goes for the line, and we'll see another ball in. Looks to be a bit of intent about that one. It's a pretty deliberate move, but the umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Peter Carey. Fine work in ruck, ran it out. Marshall gave Wayne Stringer the chance. Saw clean bowl then was Greg Anderson. In goes Craig Ebert, one of Port Adelaide's better players. Holding the man, they say. Then play on. Bradley, way out on his own. Bradley should kick this. Straight through it goes. Bradley's second goal. Port Adelaide 13-8, Glenelg 9-8. It's a big break in this game, 4 goals. Peter Carey up high, beaten on that occasion by Russell Johnson. Through comes Stephen Williams. Out goes Bradley. What a player he is. Anderson. Marnie. 3 youngsters there. Bradley, Anderson, Marnie. They're live wires for Port Adelaide on a lead. Evans couldn't half volley it. Farquhar backs it up well. He wants Duthie and finds him. McGuinness on his own. Gee, that's a terrible handball. Marnie back to Kinnear. Kinnear will go short. Belton's also a top player for the Magpies. Off he goes. Farquhar and Evans again. That is a line ball if I've ever seen one. I think the umpire agrees, and I think he might bounce it.
I don't think Michael Farquhar agrees, Peter. He's giving umpire Rick Kinnear an awful mouthful, but I agree with you. It was a line ball. It appeared to be from here. Thumped away by Harris, but in the interim he's given away a free kick with a push in the back. Knight jammed it onto his boot. But the free kick will go in defence to John Seabohm. Yes, Seabohm. Plus 15 metres. Seabohm and Harris standing one another, and been an interesting tussle. Not a great deal in it. Kernahan, oh, what a strong mark. A magnificent pair of hands. Kernahan looking for a run of the player. McGuinness is out on his left, but he's going back to kick long. It's not a good-looking kick. I don't know who he's looking for. Nichols was very late on the scene, and Martin Leslie showed a lot of courage to hold his head up and take the head-high mark when the herd was coming down. Returns the ball back towards the half-forward line. Thumped further clear now by Knight. Getting back on it, however, was Wayne Stringer. A handball straight to Knight. Stringer there as well. Snout McFarlane over the top, and the umpire will come in and bounce the ball.
The Bay's big guns not firing, or not firing as well as they'd like.
Made a lot of errors, Peter.
Yeah, they have, Ian. With disposal, dead right. Bradley burst through the pack, on the run again. Has he kicked his third? Yes, he has. superb play by the little champion in the centre. What a player he is. Port Adelaide 14-8, the Bays 9-8.
Oh, yes, Peter, it's just brilliance. That's all it is. As I mentioned in the second quarter, the Bays have chosen not to try to mark him out of the game, but allowing Marshall to play his own because he's a fine player in his own right. But Bradley getting right on top now, and he's kicked 3 goals from centre, and to this point is clearly best man on the ground for mine.
Graham Campbell would be unhappy at the moment. He wants a lift all around the ground. Carey got it down to Marshall. Nichols has got the better of that one. Through comes Tony Hall. He breaks into the open goal. Well, not as easy as it looks to kick a goal from there. He was running fast and the bodies were coming at him, but Glenelg needed one.
Well, yes, Peter, that was a bad miss, but Tony Hall, I don't know the plaque bearing down upon him. It could have been Stephen Williams. No, it wasn't. It was number 24. Brendan Owens, and he was coming in very quickly indeed as Kennedy kicks off to the outer side, almost Carey. Anderson back against Simons, gives the pass out now, looking for Bradley. He'll get it from Johnson. Watch him go now. The running player is Belton. Port Adelaide over the centre line. A long kick now to the lead of Knight. McFarlane doing a brilliant job on that player. Ebert looking for backup support. He gets it now from Harris up to Chutney, holding the ball. The right decision by umpire Argent. As soon as he got the ball, he ducked. And it's Seabohm who'll go short to Stringer. Stringer to no one in particular. Gee, he's given a long run to Tony Hall up. That's a great mark. Like a slips catch. Maynard. Quickly across now, too far from Stringer, but he's got time to recover. Helped by Fraser. Oh, he hasn't got time. He made the second error. Gets back onto the left leg, puts it in high to Kernahan. Kernahan and Leslie. Quickly back for Port Adelaide now is Johnson. Shoots it out towards centre wing. Only Tony Simons home back there. He should be shepherded by a teammate. Easily around. Tony Simons half forward, right flank up towards Nickel. Kernahan at the back too. Good mark, Kernahan. Oh, the Bays need a goal and they need it now. Down by 5. Nichols can't get into the action at all. Kennedy's clearly on top. Not that the teammates in front have given him much opportunity since the first quarter when they blitzed out a couple of beautiful passes to him. But Kernahan has got it 20 metres out in front. Has kicked 3. That's 4. The Bays needed it. 10-9, they trail Port Adelaide 14-8. Kernahan's gone to centre half forward. Stringer now probably to a forward pocket. It's pretty hard to tell as players get a lot more freedom these days. Carey up high. Thumped forward by Belton to Harris. Can't get the handball away. Duthie a chance now. Sets it up for Maynard. Maynard's got 2 to beat. Gets the kick away. Still not a good kick. Well out in front of the leading Hall, but it's out of play. Maynard's got the ball on a few occasions this quarter, but hasn't been able to do a great deal with it.
Ball in left forward flank for the Glenelg side. Kernahan didn't get the tap down, but it came to Fraser. Here's a chance, Chris Duthie. A long kick on the run, straight through the centre. That's just what the doctor ordered for the Bays. Duthie's first. Glenelg now 11-9 to the Magpies 14-8.
Well, young Martin Fraser hasn't got a lot of touches this afternoon. In fact, I think he's only had 1 or 2 kicks. 1 kick. But he's got 5 handballs, and a couple of them have been very telling handballs, and he looks more like his father Graham than he does. But Martin Fraser got that beautiful handball out to Duthie, and gee, what a fine kick on the run. The Bays coming back, still down, however, by 17 points.
The big crowd enjoying this tussle here at the park, and will be a better contest if the Tigers can get back into it. The tackle on Duthie was a good one. Maynard's kick went backwards virtually. Marshall. String out, off hands beautifully, Tony Hall. He tries to pick out a player. He's got Nichols. No, he hasn't got Nichols. It hit the ground first, according to the umpire. Out comes the handball. Russell Johnston clears. Wayne Stringer in hot pursuit. Stephen Williams. Neither player could do much with it. Gavin Walsh kicks around the body looking for Simons. What an absorbing tussle. Simons and Anderson. Simon gives Carey the chance, but has it gone out? Yes, I think it has. Out it is. Port Adelaide a 14-8, Glenelg 11-9.
At half-time, Anderson had 7 kicks and 4 handballs, and Tony Simon 7 kicks and 2 handballs. So that bears out the theory that they're having a tremendous tussle that Peter's just told you about. Craig Ebert put out handball number 14 out towards Bradley, and Bradley can't keep it in play, this time with Marshall in close attention. Marshall's done some useful work, but he hasn't been able to get into that telling position through the half-forward line to create havoc. Bradley's got 3 goals, or Ebert up over the top, gets the thump away, but it's Marshall caught on the left leg, still gets a lot of distance with it, high to the half-forward line. Kernahan up again, comes out with the ball out wide. Duthie just a little bit too far for him. He's lost it. Quickly in 12-3, got a couple in the first quarter. Kernahan back now to Duthie. Oh, he's got nowhere to go. Out wide to Maynard. Maynard around the corner, should find Stringer, and he's got it 35 metres out. There's a Bay player in the square in Nichols, but Stringer should shoot for goal.
Important one in. They're trailing at this stage by 17 points.
Coming back strongly, as did Port Adelaide in that first quarter. Alan Stringer kicked a goal in the second quarter. Moved to a half-forward flank. Kernahan's gone to centre half-forward. Stringer shot for goal. That's home. That's his second. The Mays coming back very strongly indeed. 12-9. They trail Port Adelaide 14-8. Less than 2 kicks the difference.
Well, there was a great number of possessions there by Glenelg players as they fought to get the ball in the open. Kernahan and Duthie involved. And finally, it was shuffled out to Maynard. He saw the free player there in Alan Stringer, and he found him very well with a neat little left foot kick. Alan Stringer put it through for his second, and Glenelg are in there still with a chance, but the breeze is favouring the northern end. Glenelg are going that way at the moment. They've got a long, hard struggle ahead of them if they're going to win this one.
Centre bounce, Carey against Johnson. McGuinness and Marnie, the respective rovers. Carey got the tap, but it went back to Craig Ebert to the half-forward line. Stephen Knight has paid the mark. He's almost back on the centre line when he'll take the kick, Stephen Knight. Looks for the lead of Evans. The big fellow lumbers off now. Evans and Farquhar. Farquhar in front. Does it well. Can't get it out. Ebert can. Smashes the handball away. Williams. Craig Anderson into the open goal, and Port Adelaide have replied so easily. Anderson's second goal. Brilliantly done, Port Adelaide. 15-8. The Bays 12-9.
Well, they won't lie down, the Magpies. They might have last year, but not this year. They pushed it forward. They're getting the ball out of the middle still. Russell Ebert did some sort of strange overhead work there, but it eventually came out. Anderson was on the end of it, and with a fine left foot kick, he scored his second goal. Port Adelaide kick away again, 15-8, Glenelg 12-9. And Bradley is the key for Port Adelaide. He's had 13 kicks and 10 handballs and 3 goals. He'll be best player on the ground, and the Bays will have to stop him if they're going to win.
Peter, what an odds-on favourite for state centre man on Tuesday night would have to be Johnson. Looking for Bradley, found Carey, roundhouse right, half-back flank. Getting on the ball there was Port Adelaide's Harvey. In turn, Tony Giles. Ball underneath him, and umpire Kinnear elects to bounce the ball, with Marshall looking anxiously to see what transpires. Bounce down, half-forward right flank. The Bays in attack. Carey and Johnson. Carey gets the tap away. Found Marshall, concedes ground. Maynard high now to the half-forward line, coming to meet at Leslie. Kernahan behind play. Quickly now, Harvey. Giles tears through. Belt. Oh, heavy tackle, high tackle, free kick against Peter Carey. And the big fellow's lumbers off. And I don't know whether Carey is being spoken to by Kinnear, but most certainly he got pinged 15 metres.
Russell Ebert in front with the chase for the ball. Stephen Williams through centre half forward. Kinnear on the run. Kicks over the body or over the shoulder. Didn't get any distance with it. Duthie spoiled. Gibbs ran past it. Duthie back. Oh, the handball clear, not good. Out it comes. Harris to Stephen Williams. Here's another chance for Evans. In front, Farquhar. Played it well. And the Glenelg fullback got the free kick that he's been looking for a long, long time. Evans has 4. I wouldn't say he's beaten Farquhar, though. Carey over the top, 12-3 out. McGuinness the run. Got a ton of pace, puts it onto the left boot. He wants Nichols. Over the top, Tony Hall. Now Stephen Kernahan, I didn't think about it a great deal. Through for a point. They need goals. 12-10 Glenelg, Port Adelaide 15-8.
I agree with you, Peter. I think he rushed his kick just a little. Maybe he could have set up even a handball, or I think they would have shepherded for him to take a more steady shot. Blazed away. Tony Hall, good mark. But how could you point the finger at Stephen Kernahan playing so well and 4 goals to boot? Tony Hall would be too far out to score, some 55 metres. In towards the half-forward line. Nichols, hepped out of it. I think he'll get a free kick on this occasion. The Bay crowd give a cheer. They feel that they should have got a few more from the umpire this afternoon. And Big Nichols, who I think he possibly got the first goal of the match, but he certainly got one very early, suckering it off the ground, has got his chance to kick number 2. Greg Nichols. Shouldn't miss, 20 metres out in front. Oh, gee, shouldn't miss. Out of bounds on the full. Unbelievable.
Not good football. Clearing away now is Martin Leslie. Russell Johnston. Good mark against Peter Carey. Probably the state's leading ruckman, Russell Johnston. Up against Peter Carey, one of the all-time great ruckmen. Pushing the back according to umpire Kinnear. Umpires have got to learn to be consistent with that one. Baker, Brendan Owens, short, Belton. Belton is a phantom. He's found that many open spaces today, you'd think there was no one else here. Stephen Williams, Evans on a lead. A good interception by McFarlane, but offhand, Anderson. 3 goals, Anderson. Port Adelaide, 16-8. Glenelg, 12-10.
So at three-quarter time at Football Park, Glenelg had reduced Port Adelaide's lead to less than 3 goals. The score at time saw Port Adelaide 16 goals 8 to Glenelg 13 goals 12. We'll pick up the action again. We're 3.5 minutes into the final quarter, and the scoreboard had not altered.
Good kick, Wayne Stringer. Puts it out in front of Tony Simons. Just out now, and Ian, we've mentioned it before, but the Glenelg disposal since the end of the first quarter has deteriorated, hasn't it?
Yes, Peter, I agree, and I also emphasise the fact that it's the speed and ferociousness of the tackling of Port Adelaide that's contributed to that poor disposal. McFarlane, he's played well. We'll run it over to McGuinness, they might have lost it again. Belton, beautifully done. Gee, the Fazer made some mistakes. Belton makes one on this occasion. McGuinness tries to make a reparation for his mistake, and what's happened?
Pushing the back, Belton.
Gee. Belton from centre field. A nice looking kick. Belton has played well. Evans got one hand. Ebert drives in towards goal. What a magnificent kick. The umpire is motionless except to indicate that Russell Ebert's got his second goal. Started by that fortuitous free kick centre field, and Port Adelaide kick away 17-8 to 13-12.
Well, ball handling errors there again. The McFarlane handball wasn't spot on to McGuinness. The ball didn't come back. Then Belton made a ball handling error. Then got a free kick. It was indicated as a push in the back. And from the kick in, Russell Ebert scored a fine goal.
Port by 20. Line ball, that one. Craig Ebert almost. Duthie works hard. Belton, gee, what a magnificent game he's having. Goes long. Gibbs comes to meet it, but leaves the football behind. Marnie Clare will be well shepherded. Got the pace, gets round onto the left leg into the open goal, and that could be it. For Port Adelaide, going from strength to strength. Marnie's second goal puts on Port Adelaide's 18th, and that could be game, set and match, although there's still a long way of the football game to go.
Well, Ross Gibbs on that occasion chanced his arm. The ball didn't come to him as he would have liked it. Marnie recovered, and from that point on, Marnie was brilliant. Bounced away and kicked the goal, his second, and Port Adelaide looking extremely good.
Oh, and confident too, Peter, as they bounce the ball back at centre. Johnson gets the tap away again. Knight getting into the action. Hooks to the half-forward line. Ebert back there with Walsh. Walsh and Ebert, Bradley there with him. Ebert will do the shepherding, or maybe it will be Bradley. Ebert's got nowhere to go. Walsh Likewise, Anderson comes out with the ball, chips it up towards the half-forward line, bumped away from Knight. McGuinness back in defence. Quickly through now, Stringer, having a lot of kicks. The Carey centre wing. Carey now plays on immediately, up towards the half-forward line. Kennedy, cool, under pressure. Tony Giles, Port Adelaide in control.
Away they go again. Bradley steams through half-forward and takes a great mark. Kinnear on the run. Evans out on the lead, and the Port Adelaide full forward has got it. No doubt about Port Adelaide when they run the ball. They're the best at it in this league. Evans, deliberate, through the middle, 5 goals Evans. The Magpies 19-8, the Bays 13-12.
No question about that. The Magpies had a big struggle to get into the lead. They were down by 24 points. Second successive game we've seen them start. Well, whether they started sluggishly or the other side just started so well, but they were down 24 at one side. But they've clawed their way back into the game, and now they've got a lead of 32 points, obviously a match-winning lead.
Russell Johnson, Peter Carey, Johnston easily, Bradley out. Oh, he missed his player and found his opponent, in fact, Marshall. Kernahan gets front spot, running through. Oh, the handball from 12-3, not good. McGuinness fighting for it. Giles there doing hard work. Russell Johnson dummies the handball, and Port Adelaide out of trouble. Stephen Knight has it punched away from him by McFarlane. Anderson, Belton. McFarlane dives on the ball. Through comes Brenton Owen. Down goes Stephen Williams. Umpire Kinnear will bounce. The Bays in a lot of trouble. They need goals, and they haven't got forward players on top. Kernahan is a must at centre-half forward. See if they can get it down there. Anderson. He is a top player, Anderson. Coming right across Maynard. Tries to hard volley it. Can't. Here's Marnie again. Out it goes. Helped on its way by Michael Farquhar. And we'll see a ball in. Left forward pocket for Port Adelaide. And boy, oh boy, Ian, when they go, they really go.
Yes, Peter, they're getting on top now. Jim, what a big crowd to see it. I reckon there's got to be 18,000, 19,000 people here. A magnificent sight. Tapped down by Harris. In the back there is Marnie, but he can't get the kick away accurately. In fact, he kicks out of play on the full. But a lot of the sting gone out of the game now as the big crowd is strangely silent as Port Adelaide are getting on top. Or the kick back by Farquhar is short. Craigie, but around the corner in front is Farquhar. In fact, Evans has got to go for the thump away, but umpire Kinnear has seen a free kick in that, and Farquhar is hit over the shoulder. Duthie. And a big battle with Kinnear. He's got more touches. Kinnear's got it now. A high one in towards full forward. Evans again. Good mark. Strong mark. Farquhar disappointed with himself, but Evans a very strong mark. He only needed that half metre in front, and there's nothing that Farquhar could do about it. Tim Evans. 5 goals. That's 6. 28. Port Adelaide 13-12 the Bay.
And that short burst by Port Adelaide to start the final quarter ensured victory, their 7th in a row. Final scores, Port Adelaide 22 goals 11, 143 points, defeating Glenelg 18 goals 15, 123. The goal kickers for Port, Evans got 6, Marnie, Anderson and Bradley 3, while for Glenelg, Kernahan got 5, Nichols 4 and 12-3. The stats for the game, Port Adelaide against Glenelg, well, they show that Glenelg had plenty of possessions. Kicks 200 to 211, marks 69 to 65. The handballs were Glenelg 111 to 101. The frees, well, the whistle blew 31 times in favour of Glenelg and 28 in favour of Port Adelaide. The rucks 13 to 11. And the scoring shots, well, that tells the story, 33 apiece. Ian, who'd you see as your best players?
Yes, well, I'm a Craig Bradley fan. I've been calling him Phil all day, but Craig Bradley, brilliant once again. He's so explosive, and even though David Marshall, who I put on the best players for the Bays, did a lot of good things, Bradley is simply a wonderful player, and I think he's a lay-down misère to play centre for the state side. Paul Belton, he's back in full flight now, and he's definitely lifted the Port Adelaide Roving division. A fine performance, the best game I've seen for him for quite some time. Russell Johnson seems to be leaping a lot better than he was in the earlier games, supported by Ben Harris, but Russell's job was superb, and once again I think he'll lead the state rucks. Marnie, only a young fellow, 17 years of age, and he's getting better each time. And what I like about his game now, he's starting to pick up kicks around the ground, whereas before I thought maybe he was just a forward pocket player. Craig Ebert put out a lot of handballs, most of them effective, fine performance. And Anderson had a very hard struggle at centre wing with Tony Simons, but he got on top and kicked 3 goals in the second half, and his was a good effort. Stephen Kernahan, brilliant. He took 11 marks. He didn't get into the game early, but the further the game went, the further he got. I think I like him better in a set position rather than ruck, but his was brilliant. Snout McFarlane getting better as he gets older. I like his game mainly because he kept Stephen Knight so quiet. Stephen, of course, got a heavy knock and left the field for a while, but McFarlane's performance was a fine one. Wayne Stringer did well in defence. David Marshall, I've mentioned already, always constructive, and I think he picked up something like 25 or 30 touches and had a good duel with Bradley, but gee, it takes something to beat Bradley. Tony McGuinness got some kicks, and also Ross Gibbs, a player that I haven't seen before in the back pocket. But back pocket players who leap for specky marks make me feel a little uneasy, but that's how I saw them, Rick.
What about Russell Johnson? You just mentioned you took him with thunder a bit there. You think he's up to the standard after that broken leg again?
Yeah, you're right, Robert. I'll apologise for stealing your thunder first. Right. But no, Russell, I just feel that Russell hasn't been leaping as well lately that he had been, and I know he got that broken leg, as you mentioned, last year, but today he was leaping back to his best. I thought in the past Ben Harris has been probably leaping better than Russell, but not only his knocking today, but his ground play and his field play was superb, and I thought he played particularly well.
Simons and Duthie have been playing on the wing for Glenelg. They've done exceptionally well when we've watched them. How did they fare against Anderson and Kinnear this afternoon?
Well, look, they're all very talented players, no question about that, and they've all picked up over 20 touches, but I think it's a question of what you do with the ball when you get it. As I said, David Marshall and Bradley, I've talked about that, but Duthie at centre wing played a good game. He picked up over 25 touches, but I just thought Kinnear was a more direct player, and then I've mentioned also about Simons, and Anderson got on top of him, but it was a great duel across centre. It was a great game. I enjoyed it.
Superb game down there at Football Park today. 16,000 people saw it, and the Magpies stay on top of the premiership table. We'll take a short break and then come back and have a look at the clash between West Adelaide and Central Districts.